Hey everyone, Eric Beans, CEO of Happy, here with you this evening. Let's talk about Plan B for content creators. So, you're a content creator. This world is becoming filled with them. Everybody's got a channel, they're pushing up content. You got comedians putting up bits, you have artists putting up stuff. It's actually a really cool time to be an artist or musician or whatever it is, or even a writer, to be able to showcase your talents and skills. And if you're talentless, you can still get a pretty big following and do pretty well monetizing it if you are interesting, which again is a talent. So I guess talentless is a little, well, maybe you're pretty. Could be pretty and talentless. So in any case, you're going to really want to look into some backup plans, to be able to make sure that you're able to monetize yourself, your content, your art, without falling victim to what's happening to a lot of people right now. We're seeing a really big influx in censorship, and it's pretty scary because this is a renaissance for artistic creation. Not all of it's great artistic creation, but we're seeing still, as you're seeing a plethora of garbage out there, you're also seeing brand new types of sketch comedy. You're seeing brand new types of marketing, brand new types of getting information out to the masses, brand new types of music. You're seeing all sorts of, when I say renaissance, I mean literally a birth of a whole new set of types of interactions. The meme world, and the meme world moving into, these mini videos, the TikTok videos, but they certainly weren't the first to do it. So, as an artist, you're going to need a plan B. You're going to need you do not want to have your entire livelihood based on a single point of failure, because if you happen to put out some content that the powers that be do not like, you can be taken down. It might be a temporary one first, but eventually, if you're trying to push the limits, it is possible that you might make the wrong person unhappy, and you might just be removed from the major platforms. I love YouTube. I mean, every great content creator in the entire world is on YouTube, but YouTube also has their limits in terms of what they'll allow on the channel, and it's not very well defined at all. You could easily cross that line by talking about openly about your opinion on a subject, like what happened with the with COVID, or with what happened with abortion. I mean, these are things that tend to get flagged, and sometimes people do get in trouble for it, whether they want to or not, because it's a lot of, I guess, a lot of subjective elements to it. So you don't want your entire livelihood tied to that. There's a couple options out there. Patreon is an option. Patreon is an option. Of course, you've got Twitter, you've got your Instagram, you've got your YouTube. YouTube is the big bad voodoo daddy of it all. Rumble's out there for the people that aren't using YouTube, and of course, a lot of people are tied into these services like a cast that will just blast out your content to a lot of places except for YouTube and Rumble. So it'll send it to SoundCloud and and your Spotify and your other places. So what we're doing with Happy is we're actually creating channels that can be used in a very similar way to Patreon, but differently. You have your channel chat, but you can have a free channel where you're putting out free content videos. You can go live. You can push out your text content if you're a writer, and then you could have a VIP channel for people that are paid. So they pay the subscription directly. The money goes to you directly. You can swap it into US dollars. It's all tied to USDC, which is US dollars currency, but digital. So it's interchangeable for the US dollar. But this way you can push your content out to specific people, or you can also BCC your content. So if you don't want to put all your content into a channel chat and have everyone going, this sucks, fuck you, which, can happen, you can actually go into that channel, send the actual content out to everybody in a BCC way, where it goes in as an individual message. It does not go through ICANN, and it does not go through 10DLC. So ICANN is the filtering for your email, and 10DLC is your filtering for text. So if you send content out, it's going directly to your peoples, real time. So you have a much better engagement level. In If you go through Instagram and others and Facebook, I think on average people see about 13% of your content. This will ensure that they will see pretty close to 100% of your content. So if they're engaging with your content at a higher level, watching the content you're working hard to put together, you're going to end up with a much more loyal following. And if you have a loyal following, you own the world. You really do. Watching what happened with Andrew Schultz, the comedian, he had a deal with a streaming service. They wanted to remove a couple jokes. One of them was about abortion, another one was about a serial killer. He said no. He paid back the bonus and released it on a separate channel that nobody has, nobody knows. People supported him. I supported him, and I got a link to his content and was able to watch it separately. It was a fantastic special, but most importantly, he actually took the power of censorship away and did it in a different way. Now, blockchain is going to go a long way towards helping with this. You're going to be able to, have different outlets, but right now it's very centralized. It's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's TikTok, and YouTube and Google, are tied together. These are powerhouse companies, and they're mega companies that have every bit of data on what you're doing. There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide unless you're going straight back to the Stone Age. So you have to embrace it, and they have their own rules, and you can't fight it. It's not like you're going to win. They'll just shut you off, and your voice through their monster platform is now gone. Now you might say, "Who cares?" But a lot of people that are making their money that way do care. So as you move forward, we're going to be building platforms for content creators that aren't going to replace. It's not going to replace YouTube or Google, and certainly we're no threat to either of them. But it is a nice, I'd say, a nice way to complement their services. It's a nice way to tie people in through a communication platform specifically for your content. You can monetize it in a different way as well, but also it gives you a second point of failure. So if one point of failure gets hit, you aren't out with all your data, all your contacts, no way to contact people. So for all the content creators out there, you're going to need to make sure that you think about what's your worst case scenario. And Happy is going to be developing something that will help you make sure that if the worst case does happen, you might even be in a better position, but you certainly won't lose it all. So that's where we're going. I'll keep you updated. Hope everybody has a great evening, and God bless everyone. All right, bye.